Get on your knees and suck all that oxygen, my friends. We're going to take a deep breath. 2025 has been quite a pooper year. It's been a delayed bull market vibe year. And some people say the bull market's so delayed, you're never actually going to get it. They believe that the bear market is coming. I want to show you this, friends. This is a great picture I got here. I got it from Randy Boo out here. This, friends, is... I've got to remind you of this, okay? In the past, liquidity dropping was coinciding with crypto Bitcoin dropping as well. Okay? This is global liquidity on the bottom chart. And you can see these periods of time of them dropping liquidity. Now, right now, liquidity is not dropping, but Bitcoin's deviated down. However, in the past cycles, if you, for example, look here, see what happens, friends? Bitcoin would rotate down, but global liquidity was still rising. Why? Well, the US Fed at the end of 2021 said, we're going to hike rates, we're going to stop the QE, but we're going to do it like, in 5 months. We're just warning you ahead of time. And then immediately crypto started dumping and it continued and there was no liquidity to come in and rise it up as well. For the context of 2017 to 2018, we ran up so much, friends, that we literally just ran out of buyers. But it was quite interesting that they did pull back on the liquidity. And during this period of time, the stock market started going up, but crypto started dropping down. Okay, but we had a PMI 55 to 60 environment here as well. Okay, and then if we go back to 2013, we had liquidity dropping, but we don't have many reports or anything from back then because, pretty much we weren't even in crypto to really study it. So that brings us to where we are today. That's the ultimate question, right? Which it's going to bring me into my next point. See, right now, friends, we have Bitcoin deviated down. Some say Dune. And the top is the Magnificent Seven. Okay, that is the top 7 of the NASDAQ stocks. The Magnificent Seven had the biggest network effects: Google, Crapple, Tesla, whatever, Nvidia, example, okay? So Bitcoin is down. So that's why we've now hit this 4-year cycle point. Bitcoin goes down. But now we got to ask ourselves, do we think Bitcoin is leading the liquidity removal? Does Bitcoin know something about the world economy? There's liquidity issues. Everything's going to crack. Does it know something? Or is Bitcoin in a deviated buy zone? Deviation means like a deviated down. The big trend's up, but it's coming down. Is this a buy the dip opportunity? Well, we don't know. I don't know. What I'll do is I'll play some PUBG music. Oh, yeah. Let's mog them. You don't know. Okay. But that's why, friends, I'm very, very humble. Like, we are the humblest people here. You never know anything. However, based off, look, man, friends, if we're going to get snaked by every politician, then we are. Whatever. We can't stop it. But Donald Trump, he said the big, beautiful bill, it's not just him. The big spending part starts next year. It seeps in, okay? We also have the US Fed cutting rates. They now have 80% chance to cut rates by December, and they're stopping QT. So those 3 things are positive liquidity, okay? Positive. And Donald Trump said, major loser Powell will be replaced with more of a Dove US Fed guy, all right? Could be a Dove girl, okay? Maybe a US Fed girl. And that's going to happen in May. So the expectations of next year, the US Fed has basically dictated, hey, liquidity is going to keep coming in. All right. But they're blue balling us. So they're kind of like walking the line. They go, hey, don't do the inflation stuff. You better not do the inflation buying stuff. Okay. So that's what is leaning me more towards I'm going to keep holding. All right. Now, I'm going to ask you, how do you feel about the Bitcoin dominance? Okay. Because, friends, the Bitcoin dominance, this is crazy. Bitcoin dominance is also saying liquidity is going up next year, dude. Look at this, friends. The Bitcoin dominance, the ratio of Bitcoin to altcoins, it's dropping, which means it's risk on. It's actually happening, friends. Look at this. It's down to 58.2%. You see that? Like, it continues to go down. By the way, went up for 4 years, yeah? Went up for 4 years. So remember, Bitcoin and NASDAQ were moving all along. Then 1.5 months ago, it all broke. So that was, heading into October. That was as soon as this Q4, right? Because all these big, I guess, the big Bitcoin whales, right? There's a lot of the people out there, they just want to just exit because of 4-year cycle, right? But now the question remains, is Bitcoin the canary in the coal mine or leading the index for 2026? Or is it on a cheap buyer's deviation, presenting opportunity? All right. Now, remember, 31 of the biggest crypto K-Wells, not absolutely all of them, but most of them, from Incest Dancers to Ben Copen to Yvonne, everyone, well, 98%, all of them bearish on next year. So they said 2026 bear market. They go, oh, you're going to hit the 50-week moving average. You're going to go down. You're going to do the relief rally. Don't. They're all saying don't bother buying the dip because this rally is going to fail like all the others. Look, when I see that, you understand something about markets. Markets priced in the future. So when I see and I feel and I smell 31 crypto KOLs saying next year's going to be bad and get rid of it and don't bother buying the dip, it's telling me that the market's priced in next year to be bad. All right? Well, what if next year's not bad? So it's basically, friends, the betting on the favor that next year's going to be trash, that more bad news will keep coming out. So what if the bad news doesn't keep coming out? They haven't priced that in, have they? No. They've sold at least 50% of their portfolios. At least they're in 50% stable coins. You know, most of them are in 70, 80, 90% stable coins. Most people have sold a lot. I've shown you all the retailer comments as well. You know, people like, you know, in every single of the mainstream K-Wells, the comment section is them saying, hey, okay, I get it. All right, next is definitely a bear market. I'm out. You know, which tells you something, right? Friends, this is the XRP BTC ratio chart. It is very interesting. Do you see how it's in this triangle? This is so strange, man. XRP BTC. This is the wildest part, friends. You know, blockchain backer, pretty much XRP Maxi, one of the biggest, he's the biggest XRP KOL. It would be quite the diabolical bear killer event if XRP manages to break above this triangle and go into price discovery. Blockchain backer has sold 50% of his XRP after calling for a $10 target, and now he targets it down to 30 cents. So he showed the Cardano fractal, which I showed you in Juicy News and stuff out here. Most crypto influencers, over 31 of them, are declaring a bear market in 2026 is coming, with Bitcoin expected to collapse below 65K. I'm thinking, what if they're wrong? You know, what if they're wrong? You might say, oh, but what if they're right? Yeah, okay, but we expect it to be trash. So, crypto influencers update. This is pretty much everyone in a nutshell, friends. Bitcoin 150K is guaranteed. You were here. Every single one of them said Bitcoin 150K. Every single one of them. Bitcoin 150K, 150K, strategic reserve. Nothing can go wrong. Nothing can go wrong. Come and buy my indicators. Come and buy my private group. All right? I'll give you a webcam show. Here's a picture of my toe. Right? They were all calling it for a year. I'm still a humble peanut brain, friends. I just remember I kindly told you at the beginning of the year, I go, well, you know, if everyone's asking for 150 so they can sell and leave, maybe we just stop like under 150 to like 125 and we go down. And now here they are. They're actually getting out. So friends, actually what's happening is the people who wanted to sell at 150, they are now selling under 90,000. Okay. So if we get all these 4-year cycle Jeets out and it's really a believer's cycle, maybe we've cleared the way. Maybe. We'll see. But this is pretty much it. They said 150K is guaranteed. They go into the bushes. They come back. Bitcoin 65K is guaranteed. Bear market confirmed. More like a soy market. And just to give you more snippets, friends, I'm literally over 31. Okay, and look, I've got make it number 32. Teddy, this guy's name is Teddy Bitcoins. Anyone who believes the Bitcoin price will go higher than 127,000 between now and 2027 is delusional. And he's got 4-year cycle. He's got a 4-year cycle. Where? 4-year cycle? What's that? I've never heard of it. Let me tell you, look, I don't know anything, all right? I'm just a man, straight posture, pegs his own nipples, very pointy elbows, a simple man. So I'm saying I'm a squirrel who holds his own nuts. Markets price in the future. We have priced in the 4-year cycle. What's 4-year cycle? Sell now and go buy next year. We've done the sell now part. Well, you guys are all going to buy next year, just maybe not at the price you expect. Markets, friends, remember, it's expectations, right? It's expectations versus reality all the time. Everyone's expecting next year to be bad now. In 2021, no one expected the next year to be bad, the bear market. In 2017, no one expected 2018 to be bad. Going before that, in 2013, no one expected 2014 to be bad. All right, what I've done is I've gone to the top of the bull markets and I've said, oh, the next year, no one expects it to be bad. It was actually bad. Wouldn't it be funny if we run all of 2026 and at the end of next year, everyone says, we just started. That's what we'll be waiting for, maybe at the end of next year, okay? Where maybe by the end of next year, we convince people, hey, the 4-year cycle is broken and 2027 is going to be great now and we're going to run into the Bitcoin halvening year because we're so close to the Bitcoin halvening, right? Do you know, friends, the Bitcoin halvening in 2028, I think it's going to happen in February, right? So I could look, this is just, friends, once again, I'm just a man who pegs his own nipples on the internet, but if the Bitcoin halvening in Year of the Horse, you got to think about it. If I go to 2028, just to tell you, friends, there's a big meme where, and everyone knows this, right? The Bitcoin bull starts 12 months before the Bitcoin halvening. Actually, I just saw it. It's expected, actually, friends, it's not January. I think it's changed. It's now expected June 2028. All right. But nevertheless, right, 12 to 18 months before the expected Bitcoin halvening, people think they meant to buy. So if you go that will be June, July 2027. All I'm trying to do is I'm trying to think about if we did go in here, that might be like a bull trap. A bull trap is you trap people buying the dip on the way down. They go, oh, the halvening is next year. We're meant to buy the year before the halvening, and that's actually one that poops into it, you know? What I've just done is I've invented a story that we could just see in the future. Doesn't have to happen, where the 4-year cycle Jeets, the non-believer scum. Actually, we'll call them scum. Just non-believers. You're non-believers. You know what I mean? Like, yeah. Actually, we'll call them scum. Because if Bitcoin goes down to 65K, they're going to go out and brag to everybody and said, see, I saved you all this money. But if we go up again, they're going to go put their heads between their legs. And they're going to be like, oh, but I told you if the price went up, then it would have validated the thesis. That's what they always talk, friends. Oh, give me $2,000. Give me $2,000 for my expert advice. All right? That's everything how it works in a nutshell here. So if the 4-year cycle Jeets, friends here, if they have exited here, 2026 could trap them tremendously. All right? Because as they finally all capitulate if it gets there, doesn't have to get there. I'm just saying if we did go up next year, when we build right into next year, right to the end, and they will probably say after that point, hey, 4-year cycle doesn't work anymore, you know, but I can almost see myself going, hey, yeah, maybe 4-year cycle's broken, but it's still buying depression, selling euphoria. It's still, you know, be careful when the PMI is above 55. Be careful because we have Coinbase App Store ranking #1, or they gave us a crypto index, or they've done a $1 billion public ICO. We've launched like, you know, maybe 30 ETFs by that point. See what I mean? But that's, you got to think about it, friends. Like the only way for them. So right now, everyone's thinking straight. Yeah. That means we're knowing the expensive prices, man. Friends, literally expensive prices in crypto. You know, we use the term euphoria, but there's actually, you can see it, man. The PMI is above 55. People are confident about the future. Okay. Crypto influencers are completely stacked on the bear side. I've shown you over 31 KOL influencers now. Most are the biggest follow 1s, 2s, and most of them are soy bears. The soy is strong. Mr. David, you look right, Sommi. You got to remember as well, sir. Look, it's not about being right or wrong. It could be. Look, I'm just saying, man. If we go down, we go down, man. That's it. All right, I've priced it in. Next year's going to be shit. I totally get it. But I'm just sharing I'm just sharing this with you. I'm here 18 hours a day. I have time. See, friends, what I used to learn when I was starting, I'm like, oh, maybe I'm wrong. Like this person knows more than me. No, they don't actually know more than us, friends. A lot of these people, they don't watch anybody else. They don't have time to. They're looking after their kids. They're applying makeup to their wife's face, maybe their own face as well. Maybe they're buying pizza for their wife's boyfriend. They're doing running their own business, multiple things, whatever it is out here. They're just not watching everybody else. I'm watching everybody else. Why? Because it's a sport, man. It's a sport. I want to know what everyone else is doing, okay? Does Lionel Messi go on the field with a blindfold? No. Right? Did Scottie Pippen go on the basketball field with goggles? No. Okay, you want to see what the other people are doing. You have to. Okay? No boxer steps into a ring when they can't see. No one. All right? This is the game. You want to see this. You know, I call it a game. Other people, you know, people use different terminology. They talk about dumb money, right? Where they see that this is a cycle, man. US Fed, the central bank prints money. Their cronies, the insider deep state reptilian scum, get the access to the deep state banks. They get the money printer cost first. They get it first. They get the cheapest borrowing rate. They get the currency first. They give it to their friends. They get the cheapest borrowing and lending rates. Then they go out, buy the assets. And then when they finally are all in, guess what? Now they go, we're feeling rich enough. We can give loans out and currency out in whatever liquidity ways they do, the plumbing. We can give it out to Main Street now. The little guy, right? Here's your little candy stimulus. It eventually seeps out. But here's what people do, friends. The middle class, when they're getting the money, they're not going and saving it. What do they go do? Buy a new TV. Buy a new squeaky chair. Get some more lollipops. Right? Buy some more pink pegs for your nipples. Right? And then that eventually leads to the economy heating up a bit. Right? Until we get that point, whatever it is, and inflation gets a bit too hot, and then the US Fed goes, okay, we're going to have to crank it back a bit. Because the people, we've given enough bread and circus to them. But when you see a PMI this bad, okay, this bad and this low for a long time, right? Look how low it is, friends, here. The PMI, they have not given us any bread and circus at all. It's been depression, all right? This is bread and circus, PMI up here. All right, that's bread and circus. Also, you can even see it from the copper gold ratio right here. This is the copper gold ratio. Copper industrial metal. Look, copper is still bleeding. Industrials, nothing is heating up. It's dead. It's dead. It's dead. All right, it has not happened. So because that happens, because this is how you navigate this stuff, friends. I'm giving you free friendship here, friendship advice, not financial. Because I have not seen any evidence of bread and circus out there in Main Street. I have not seen PMI going up, consumer sentiment going up. I have not seen that. Therefore, I cannot look at crypto prices now and say they're expensive to me. I can't. Because it's only strong hands in. It is only strong hands. All right? I don't have any concerns. I don't have whatsoever. I don't have mums and dads holding. I'm like, oh crap, this guy's definitely going to sell the bottom and then blame us on the government. We haven't seen any of that, okay? And does it have to come? No, it doesn't. Because what do I know? But look, it's navigating the future. I'm looking at upside, downside, okay? Flipping a coin. I think this is for me. This is for me, and I don't know anything. But I think if I click out now and next year's good, I will never live with myself ever again. Don't care. If I hold now, next year's bad, whatever, I was being shit for 4 years, okay? But if I click out now and next year turns out by the end of next year to be good, and Coinbase App Store does hit ranking #1, and Bitcoin dominance does go below 50%, and ETH BTC does go up, and we do have a public ICO raise, oh my gosh. What a waste. Oh my gosh. Like, if you actually have to live through that. That's why all those people have to capitulate back in, friends. I know they do. Friends, it's funny. Most crypto influencers are not paying attention to this chart. This is the Bitcoin dominance. You see? It's ticking. It's just ticking down. That's what, it's wild, man. This is it's such a good setup even on paper. Everybody's calling for bear market, but the Bitcoin dominance is in complacency. It's telling you that it's preparing for a bull market. The Bitcoin dominance is telling you it's preparing for a bull market. Now, no one in crypto is looking at it. No one. Okay, obviously a few people, but most of the KOLs, they're not saying anything. Why? Because in their paradigm, crypto is only Bitcoin. They go, Bitcoin is the thing. It can only move. And then I'm just basically want to remind you, Habib, we just saw Bitcoin dominance go on up-only runs. All right, but you've confused that, bro. Well, because you saw Bitcoin dominance go on an up-only run, you've incorrectly concluded that means, this thing's been strong for 2 years. It's going to continue being strong forever. And I'll show you the Bitcoin dominance chart now. Okay, that's what they've done, friends. Like if I change it to a 12-month chart, this is what they've seen, man. They've seen Bitcoin dominance go up for 4 years in a row. And that's what I've been yelling. I'm like, dude, something going up for 4 years in a row is not cheap, bro. That's expensive. That's like a football team. They've won 25 games in a row, and now they're about to start the next season. And you go, these people are so hot, they're never going to lose a game this season. Dude, the previous record was like 18 games in a row won, and now they're on 25. Like, you really want to bet on a whole nother 50 games or 20 games where they're not going to lose another game? Like, you are taking a very deep risk. And by the way, friends, if you actually notice, the more the more, like, say, a streak happens, retail come in and just humans, we want to ride momentum. The odds get worse and worse and worse if you keep following it. But people love that because they keep stacking it, all right? So this is literally huge macro resistance for Bitcoin dominance. And that's why, friends, everybody's complacent. No one's paying attention to that. No one. Because it doesn't fit their narrative. Their narrative is, it's a bear market, Bitcoin's red, Bitcoin trend is shit, therefore the whole crypto industry is shit. Bitcoin dominance is actually saying, we are ready to start putting higher market cap weight into altcoins. Friends, you've seen Uncle Bobby, everyone, what have all their essays and videos said? Too many altcoins. Altcoins are worth zero. Look at ADA. Look at XRP. These things are worth nothing. Look at Ethereum. Too many layer 2s. All these things are junk. None of these are value. Blah, 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 blah. All that conclude. They've concluded all the wrong things. This is just my very humble peanut brain opinion. I think they've concluded the wrong things. I think what they've done is they've looked at the color of the red candles of altcoins and go, oh, you've been worth shit for 4 years, so you're going to be worth bad for the next 4 years. I think they are really wrong. And the ratio of Bitcoin and altcoins is telling me that we are starting to be given friendship. All right. So you see it right now, friends. The side is stacked. Like I said, friends, remember, I'll give you that example. You and I were walking through the park. There's a lot of homeless bums and they want to play heads or tails. Yeah. Yeah. We got to find the bums. So we want to play the games where the bums want to give you $10 if you get heads, but you only pay them $1 if you lose. All right, 10 up, 1 down. Okay, to me, when everyone's pricing in next year to be dog poop, to me, I feel like if I'm exiting here, man, like I'm hoping, like you're playing the inverse here, right? Your opportunity cost, you're gonna make 1 if it goes down. You've been waiting for 4 years anyway. But if you're wrong, you're gonna lose 10. You're gonna lose 10. You can't get back in. You know you're finished, by the way. And just tell me another thing as well. Do you know how critically dangerous it is if you're wrong from here and it actually goes up next year? Do you know? Oh my God. Like, because you're at the lowest point, there's no retrace back, you know? You know when things bottom, there's no retrace back. Because all these people get out, they just get back in. Okay? You see what, that's why, like, for example, friends, when something's worth $1, when it's trading at 2 cents, yeah. Some people say, oh, don't worry, I'll just get back in on the way up. Have you ever thought what that means? Like, if you bought at 10 cents and you sell at 2, you've taken an 80% hit. There's not going to be a magical sign from the US Fed or anyone who comes out and says, oh, come and buy this poop coin. You don't get that, dude. You know how you sold at 2, but you originally bought at 10? Well, what happens is, friends, there's not enough liquidity to get everybody back in. So maybe by the time you'll have to capitulate in, it's back to 8 cents. But you got to think about that. You sold at 2, you have to buy back at 8. You know what that means? That means you've lost 75% of your supply of tokens. You're cooked. You're cooked. You're literally cooked. Okay, so that's why I'm telling you, if the Bitcoin dominance, man, this is not an accident, dude. This is absolutely, you think this is an accident? Oh yeah, we're just going to start rolling over. No, something else is going on. You and I are paying attention. Like, subscribe, bell button, all. Catch you soon.